ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my podcast, Remembering the Past and Moving Forward. Today's guest is Miss Lesley Hudson, aka Lesley the Poet. I'd like to invite Miss Lesley, welcome her to the show. I'd like to also say a little bit about her before I bring her on, so you can know more. And Miss Lesley Hudson is an inspirational speaker, author, poet, actress, and celebrate life thriver who lives intentionally, fearlessly, is executing transparency, happiness, resilience, inspiration, victory, excellence, and restoration. Lesley is an eloquent, down-to-earth Mississippi girl who moved to Atlanta after accomplishing her BS degree in medical technology from the University of Southern Mississippi. Lesley recently received her master's degree in industrial organizational psychology from Capella University. That's a mouthful.
It is.
Her mission and purpose is to encourage all to celebrate life. But most importantly, one of the biggest things about Miss Lesley is she was one of the original people on a line of shows that I was doing about maybe 10 to 15 years ago. So I welcome her to tell her story. Miss Lesley, if you have some words to say that I might have missed out there, I go ahead and speak.
All right. Hi, Karen. How are you doing today?
I'm great.
It's good to see you. Yes, you're right. We go way, way, way back. I mean, 10, 15 years ago. And I don't even know how we met. I just know, I don't even remember that part, right? But you're right. I do remember us working together and you were helping me and record the Star Show, Sisters Talking About Relationships. And that seems like ages ago.
Yes, 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 the Star Show. And with the Star Show, that was an acronym for something?
Sisters Talking About Relationships, not just relationships with your man, but relationships with your girlfriends, your family, your church, and everybody. Because at that time, I guess all of my life, I'm all about, having those conversations and putting everything out there. So communication is key.
Yes, so that pretty much explains what you were trying to do with the show back then. I think there was another one that we didn't quite get to do, and we were going to call it Dancing in the Rain. Can you tell our audience a little about Dancing in the Rain?
Well, Dancing in the Rain is really my bio, is in regards to my breast cancer journey. So I was diagnosed with breast cancer in May of 2006. Mm-hmm. And in that moment of going through the surgery and all of those things, I made a decision way back then, you know what? I'm going to dance in the rain. Just keeping your mindset positive. So there's a book, and that's what I titled my book, which is a book of inspirational poetic journeys. It's called Dancing in the Rain. So each chance I get, and along with celebrating my life, I'm dancing in the rain. So no matter what, that's what I do.
Amen to that. So prior to meeting me and we doing these shows, did you have a show prior to that? We were using that platform. I think it was like ComF5 at the time. The company is no longer in existence. Right. And this was all way before the pandemic, where people were even comfortable being online. And that they had with that platform, live streaming interactive program then that people could, while they're watching it live, talk to us, and then recording it afterwards and go back on demand. So did you have a show prior to that?
I don't think I did. I started Mocha Chocolate Mondays on YouTube, but I don't think that I was doing Mocha Chocolate Mondays before the Star Show. And you're right, ComF5 was before the time. So video is it. But we knew that, they said that way back then. How many years ago was that? 15 years ago?
That was 10 to 15 years ago. I'm not even sure when.
I know. And I was telling people, I said, everybody have these podcasts and they have these things. And I'm like, wow, I was doing a show many, 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 many moons ago. But unfortunately, you stop, life does
Mhm.
happen, corporate America does happen. I really need to get back to doing that. I really do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was something else. The pandemic has definitely changed things, and it's made people more comfortable with online
absolutely.
everything. So that's a good thing that came out of it.
Absolutely.
So where are you with things now that it is post-pandemic? We're hoping, kind of, sort of, and working with your dreams and endeavors.
You know what? I think post pandemic, during pandemic, really caused a lot of people to really take a closer, deep dive
Hmm.
in your life and what's going on around you. So is the time is now. There's no time to wait on what you want to do. You really got to move and do what it is you're supposed to do, right? So
Hmm.
one of the things that, I talked about for many years was starting a foundation called My Best Friend's House. You go to your girlfriend's house to chill, but you come to my best friend's house to heal. And my best friend's house is a home where women can go who are getting ready to have a mastectomy. And instead of them going home alone after that surgery of having one of both of their breasts removed, or if they're going into a home where they may not be alone, but they're going into a place where it's a toxic environment. My best friend's house wants to be there on the forefront before they have the surgery, make sure their mind is right. After they have the surgery, to have that person there waiting for you. Imagine if you were a person getting ready to go into having their surgery and you're released the next day. I want to finally, yes, I do have it registered now as a 501c3. So I'm just in the beginning stages of really wrapping everything up and getting it together.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So, and I look forward to hearing great things and seeing it come to fruition, my best friend's house. But I think I also remember that you were involved with a product line or something. You had music and cards for people who had difficulty saying something to breast cancer survivors or when they were going through their journey. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, sure. I do have a CD and it can be found on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere. And it's called Celebrate Life. So if you just look for my name, Lesley Hudson, Celebrate Life, they can download the music. The card line is called Butterfly Notes. And I can remember this specifically. I can remember being in my home and just thinking about other people because that's just my spirit, really. I sometimes or often used to say that it's not for me, my journey is for other people. I want them to be able to look at me and be an example of living your best life and celebrating your life regardless of going through breast cancer, right?
Mhm.
But to really live on purpose intentionally. So the card line is called Butterfly Notes. How did I come up with Butterfly Notes? I'm right-handed. I am a poet. And during my journey of after being diagnosed and going through the surgery, having a mastectomy and reconstructive surgery, I would write because writing was my therapy. That's how I really got through. Even dancing in the rain was not intentional at the time. It was just that going through the therapy, I was writing. And one day someone said, "Why don't you put that in a book?" And that's how Dancing in the Rain happened. Well, Butterfly Notes happened one day at my son's football game. And I am a sucker for butterflies, as you can see. I have butterflies. You can see the butterflies
Oh, yes, beautiful.
back there on my wall. I am a butterfly person. I was at my son's football game. And after I had already been praying about what could I do, how could I use my gift, and what would it be called? You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
remember a butterfly flying around me. I'm sitting in the stands at his game, and I literally did this, my hand, and the butterfly landed in my right hand.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how Butterfly Notes was birthed and came. So at that point, I just started writing cards that what can a husband say, or what does that woman need to hear from her husband, from her boyfriend? What does the woman need to hear from her sister, from her mom? So there's a product of cards that are available that can be purchased in the shop on my site, which is Les, the first three letters of my name, LES, celebratelife.com.
Awesome. That was my next question. Your website. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Lesley Hudson, aka Lesley the Poet. Thank you, Miss Lesley, for joining with us today as we
Thank
are
you.
remembering the past and moving forward. And thank you for being on my show back then. Thank you for being on my podcast now. And thank you for sharing with our listeners where you're going.
Thank you.
I wish you the best. And we're bringing this to a close, so we do have to close out. But again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Join us again. This is Karen Hansen from New Roads Video, and we're looking forward to moving forward. Bye.